So if we look at the left side of the slide, dialogue involved, that's the original dialogue scale, how it looked like in the app in an iOS setting in an iPad. And it was a sliding scale where in a touchscreen setting in an iPad or any tablet, the iPad can be sort of passed between the clinician and the service user, and the service user can use their finger to rate their scale as they go down the different domains. And the domains were set up through a research sort of consultation using the Mensa scale. It's important, I think, few key things that I'd like to mention at this stage, that the top 8 questions on that box on the left hand side are actually patient reported outcome measures, and the bottom 3 are experience measures. And when you're looking at outcome measures, you might be interested in change, and therefore a question of change and how much improvement happening over 2 point. When you're talking of improvement, you're obviously referring to dialogue data being gathered at 2 points in time. And that's something important to bear in mind. Whereas in PREM or patient experience, it's relevant and very valid to check how satisfactory the consultation was, the meeting was at any point. So it's not about checking at whether there's a change. It's every score is valid at its own right. And when you get the data, then you can look at it at the individual level, or you can look at it at a service level, or you can look at it at a further sort of organizational level at the whole trust or whole provider. When you're looking at the data at the individual level, apart from remembering whether you're looking at PREM or PROM, we heard about dissatisfaction. Now, when you're looking at dissatisfaction, you're breaking up a sliding scale of 1 to 7 into 2 groups, whether the patient is satisfied or not, and sometimes maybe whether in the middle or not. Or else you can look into just the mean score as a number and check whether there's any difference, and that would be the number changing from 4 to 5 or 2 to 3, or you can look at it as a person being dissatisfied and is now satisfied. A similar approach you can take while looking into service level data, but again, it's important to remember the 2 point issue around PROM and the 1 point issue around PREM. There's also, when you're pulling in data, you can pull in per question the mean score, or you can look into the number of people or the proportion of people who are dissatisfied in each domain. You can look into the global mean score where you lump in all the scores. Again, it would be useful to be explicit while you're doing that, whether you're going to combine the PREM and PROM questions or you're looking purely at the PROM questions. I would suggest separate the PREM and PROM. But it's useful to have these clarity and thinking before you start analyzing or making sense of the data you're looking at. And when you're looking at larger sort of population level data or a whole organizational dialogue data, I think it's important to sort of bear in mind that you will possibly or likely end up getting scores that are tending towards the middle more likely, and you'll find less and less changes happening over time because the impact might become less obvious.